I'm Kingsley Logan. Today I wanted to talk about the menace himself, Obito Uchiha. Obito was an orphan Uchiha who was a teammate of Kakashi Hatake and Rin Nohara on Team Minato. He later convinced Kakashi to relook his whole life and change his ideology. Obito later becomes incapable of doing anything due to being crushed by a boulder, and Kakashi and Rin were forced to leave him behind. Madara later saves Obito and manipulates him into witnessing Rin's death to making him have the ideology to create a perfect world. Obito then manipulates the Akatsuki and moves forward with Madara's plan. Now that we are done going over a quick summary of the backstory of Obito, we can get into what you all came for. How strong is he? The versions of Obito I will be talking about is Kid Obito, Teenage Obito, which is Yellow Mask Obito, Orange Mask Obito, White Mask Obito, which is Obito with the Rinnegan, Ten Tails Obito, also referred to as Jubito, and Double Mangekyo Sharingan Obito. Kid Obito was in the Third Great Ninja War, and he doesn't have much going for him yet, but he is able to fight on par with Kakashi at the time, who was a Leaf Jonin. He was able to fight grown adult shinobi in the war as just a kid. Obito would then become an even stronger shinobi and gain his Sharingan. Obito, after fusing with Zetsu and witnessing Rin's death, was able to absolutely demolish a whole squad of Mist Village elite Onvu. Obito was that much of a monster at the age of 12, but that is nothing compared to Yellow Mask Obito 2 years later at the age of 16. At this time, Obito was able to react, intercept, and fight on par to Minato's speeds. Minato was stated to be equal to the 4th Raikage A, who was stated to just move at light speed. Some people try to say that he moves at almost light speed, but after looking it over and speaking with people who are fluent in Japanese, it just says moving at light speed. So Obito at this point should be the speed of light. People try to argue that Minato blitzed Obito at the start, but Obito wanted Minato to grab Naruto, who had paper bombs placed on him. Obito was able to block attacks and clash with Minato at this time. Minato is shown to be capable of damaging the Biju, the Eight Tails specifically, and that Eight Tails scales to his own Biju bomb as he can tank it. Biju bombs have been calculated from between small country level and multi-continental. This fight made Minato believe Obito was Madara? He also believes after seeing Naruto fight on par with Pain, whose Shinra Tensei is calculated at island level, he would need to get way stronger to beat Obito. Which I believe to be Obito's strongest attribute at this point is his godly Genjutsu. He is able to Genjutsu Kurama with his base Sharingan, who is stated to have the power to turn the world to ash. People try to debunk this feat by saying world can just mean civilization, which is valid, but this feat should still be in the multi-continental ranges. Obito can Genjutsu and control people at this level. Obito is able to Genjutsu the perfect Jinchuriki Yagura. Perfect Jinchuriki are known to be completely impossible to Genjutsu, but Obito just does this and doesn't think twice about it. Yagura should also scale to the Biju bomb that I established how strong it was previously. Yagura is also able to keep up and fight on par with KCM Naruto and Killer Bee. Lastly, after Kisame viewed Obito's Genjutsu, it legit made Kisame think Obito was some kind of god. Now we have a slightly greater monster, which is Orange Mask Obito. Orange Mask Obito isn't too much stronger than his teenage self, but he should be vaguely stronger. Obito can easily react to Sasuke, Sasuke before this was shown to be able to perception blitz Naruto at the start of part 2. This Naruto can swap hands with Granny Chiyo, the likes of which can fight on par with Sasori. Sasori would by default be faster than Hidan because Hidan is the self-proclaimed slowest in the Akatsuki. Hidan can fight on par with Asuma, who is a relative of Part 1 Kakashi. A Kid Kakashi is able to cut lightning, which is calculated at massively hypersonic speeds. Obito can react and dodge multiple attacks from a team of Shino, Kiba, Hinata, Naruto, Yamato, Sakura, and Kakashi. Kakashi and Naruto are able to react to the likes of pain, and that Kakashi can intercept Kakuzu's lightning attack, which is calculated at massively hypersonic plus. Obito can also react and phase through the Raikage, who I said before is light speed and equal to Minato. So this just more consistently puts Obito at these levels of speed. Now we have a huge jump in power as we get to White Mask Obito, also known as Obito with the Rinnegan. White Mask Obito can keep up with KCM Naruto, who can speed blitz the Raikage, who I already established to be light speed. Obito can keep up with base Might Guy and Work Kakashi, who runs on par with KCM Minato, who keeps up with a faster Naruto than the one who blitzed the Raikage. White Mask Obito just kind of tanks KCM Naruto's Rasengan and like has a bit of dirt on his arm. Like that's like kind of crazy. He just like tanks it point blank. And the best part is he performs this feat twice. He can also clash and fight on par with Kakashi, and he also holds off base Might Guy. Now we are getting into the peak of Obito's power, Jubito. Jubito, while unstabilized, is said to be stronger than Edo Hashirama, and he just outspeeds him as well. Unstabilized Jubito, while zipping past Tobirama, gets speed blitzed by Tobirama. Tobirama places multiple paper bombs on Jubito without him realizing. Jubito then becomes stabilized and then can react to this level of attacks that could speed blitz him beforehand. Jubito also can fight against Kurama Avatar Naruto, Kurama Avatar Minato, and EMS Sasuke, well, in his Susanoo that's being amped by Jugo's curse mark. Jubito was also able to tag Edo Hiruzen, who is stated to be the strongest Hokage, so he should be stronger than Edo Hashirama. Now you're about to see how much of a beast Obito really is. Jubito is stated to be stronger than Edo Hashirama, who pins down the Ten Tails. Jubito also breaks Hashirama's deity gates, which are what he uses to pin down the Ten Tails. The Ten Tails is stated to have created the universe. It doesn't mean he has to have created the universe that the Naruto story takes place in, but he created a universe. This is backed up by the fact that Obito created a parallel universe in the canon movie Naruto Road to Ninja with just the power of 7 Biju. And the Ten Tails we see has more than 7 Biju in it. So even if it's not at full power, with all 9 Biju, it still should be Uni Plus from the power of 7 Biju creating the space-time continuum in the parallel universe. This is also backed up by the fact that Jubito is above Edo Hashirama, who fights on par with Edo Madara, who can smash all things in the universe. Jubito also has some lesser feats, like fighting against Kurama Avatar Naruto, Kurama Avatar Minato, EMS Sasuke while in the Susanoo that's being amped by Jigo's curse mark, and Edo Tobirama. DMS Obito gets weaker attack potency, but has way crazier speed feats. He reacts to Kaguya's Ash Bones, which is able to tag a clone of Kaguya fight Naruto. Clones of Naruto beforehand could fight double Rinnegan Madara, who has blatant statements of being above Jubito, as well as this Madara will be much faster than that Madara, but with one Rinnegan and no Ten-Tails. That Madara can keep up with Edo Tobirama, who is relative to Jubito in speed. So DMS Obito can just speed blitz people on Jubito's level and Kamui their head off. As for Obito's abilities, he has mind hacks, which I went over before. He has Kamui, which is spatial manipulation. He can make himself intangible for 5 minutes before he needs to become tangible again by sending parts of his real body into the Kamui dimension as people attack him. And he can Kamui other people to the Kamui dimension and keep them trapped in there. And he can also just Kamui someone's head and decapitate them. The only problem with this ability is that he can't use Kamui as Jubito. Obito has the Izanagi, which can bring something from an alternate reality and overwrite the one they're in to change it to that. You can change the fact that you died and come back to life. A weakness to this ability is that he makes one of his eyes go blind, so he can only use this ability until he loses his Sharingan and they all go blind. Obito, while he possesses the Rinnegan, has all of the Rinnegan abilities that I plan to make a video by itself about, going in a more in-depth look into the Rinnegan and its powers. But I will go over them quickly now. Obito can take his opponent's soul out of their body, killing them in the process. He can manipulate attractive and repulsive forces. Obito can turn his body to armor and weapons. He can absorb chakra, summon a handful of strong animals. He can summon the King of Hell, who can fully restore Obito if he goes in his mouth. He can summon the Ghetto Mazo to fight for him. He can control 6 bodies and make them do his will. And he can create a big ball in the sky that sucks everything up to it, also known as Chibaku Tensei. This is it for his Rinnegan abilities. As Jubito, he can nullify all ninjutsu that comes in contact with him, which forces the protagonist to resort to Sage Chakra. Obito's most broken ability is the Truth-Seeking Orbs, which are basically existence erasure. Jubito's orbs are able to erase Minato's Edo arms, and to affect a Edo, you need to destroy its soul, or they will just regenerate. Even when he gets in his spirit form, he doesn't have his arms back, so it's implied his arms were erased from existence. And in the data book for the expansive Truth-Seeking Orb, which is basically a big Truth-Seeking Orb, it says it can reduce a time-space to nothing, which would include every little part of its existence, which would be existence erasure. The crazy thing is, Obito's Truth-Seeking Orbs are able to erase Edos, which are able to regenerate and resist existence erasure, like Datara's C0, which destroys everything of a person, including the soul. So, Truth-Seeking Orbs are 2 levels into existence erasure. So this is it for Obito Uchiha. Hope you liked it. Remember, if you disagree with anything I say, feel free to join my Discord to either ask questions or have a debate about what I said in this video. Link to the Discord will be in the description, along with all calculations I used in this video.